Welcome to my cactus stream, cactus care stream. I brought a lot of cactus seedlings that we have sown out on the stream. So I brought them, and we will discuss everything, go through all the problems that I had and little successes and failures. We will discuss it all, growing cacti from seeds, but also we will get started sowing more vegetables now, long term. I just want to try sowing out different stuff here. So yeah, I brought a lot of cactus seedlings again that I want to go through. Hey mate, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry I'm late. I ate something. I forgot the time, kinda. So yeah, but I'm here. Thank you for always being so early. I appreciate it, really. So yeah, I brought a lot of stuff today. I brought the seeds of Amun-Re that I've cleaned that I wanted to show you. So these are cactus seeds of a hybrid called Amun-Re. Kind of really nice kind of flower, big reddish flower. And the seeds here, these are pretty good. The first, I cleaned them the first time and I wasn't really doing a good job. So here I am doing a second cleaning. And this is basically just the seeds after I have cleaned them in my sieve. I brought one here and it already has seeds in it. We will do that later. But just wanted to say this, the seeds of Amun-Re, they are drying now, or they are already dry. We will bag them up later, and then we will see that we will get them grown very, very soon. This is a good kind of hybrid, and I want to fast track the seeds here. So yeah, let's take them off the paper towel. Just need this here. I always use a little box, something that catches up the seeds if they fall. If I miss some, good to have them somewhere where they can't roll out. So yeah, I'm just scraping the seeds here off the paper towel. They are bone dry already within 1 day. If you have really clean seeds, then it shouldn't take long for them to dry. Just a few hours maybe. Usually after 10 hours, they should already be relatively dry. If that doesn't happen, there's probably too much organic material and just, fruit slime that's stuck to the seeds. This time I'm really happy with the cleaning. There's always something that I need to sort out, but for now this is good. And again, these will be fast tracked so we can grow them. I want to grow a few for myself, and I also want to donate seeds. So yeah, check out the sieve that I brought. I cleaned some more cactus seeds earlier on under running water. So this is just the classic food grade kind of sieve. You often get them in commercial cooking stores, cooking chains, whatever. This is great for washing seeds. When you have that cactus fruit that is full of pulp and seeds, you can clean it here. Clean it under running water, and I always press on top of the seeds to press the organic materials through. And when you do that for a while, this is what is the result. There's still a little bit of organic stuff in there, but that will dry. That will get stuck on the piece of paper, on the kitchen paper. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you. I'm great. Thank you. Just in the middle of cleaning this. I've just cleaned this 10 minutes ago, and now I brought a piece of kitchen paper, and I just want to turn this thing around. I always do it very fast because I don't want the seeds to wiggle around. They can sometimes get stuck under the rim here. So I'm doing it as fast as possible, just turning it around. And now I have the seeds on the kitchen paper. and I can let it dry. Just spreading it a little bit, like I would do if I were trying to make a butter on a bread, but I just want to spread it out to make sure that there's not so much organic material on one spot. I don't want the seeds to rot. If they can stay wet for days, then that's too long. This should dry out very fast. Yeah, and if you have just one blob of cactus seeds, then that often doesn't happen. So these cactus seeds were from a hybrid called Ulf Meerbold, Sörensia telegonoidis hybrid. Really nice apricot colored flowers, really a good flower, good hybrid. And I wanted to clean them. Thank you very much. I really like this kind of stuff, the old school 80s kind of things. Yeah, I just collect vintage stuff. I still, like a few days ago, I made a post talking about the fact that I still listen to audio cassettes, you know, like just music cassettes. And I was trying to explain that point, you know, but so like some people kind of misunderstood what I was saying, like people thinking that I'm scared of new tech, you know, because I like a lot of the vintage stuff from the 80s, 90s, whatever. They just made good stuff back then. That is the argument that I'm saying, you know, like today, if I wanna listen to music, I need to be locked in. I need to have an app running all the time. It's something that is constantly monitoring what I do. I don't want to have to invest so much time when I want to listen to music, you know. So I sometimes just put on an old cassette, an old audio cassette, and I see it as a way of protest against the way everything has become now. Everything is becoming a subscription, and I can't tell you how much I dislike that. You know, I miss the time when they sold products that you could 20 years later start up and they work. I just yesterday I was updating my smartphones, and I have a few older ones that I'm using for the time-lapse videos, and I'm just preparing the new season so I can film them. And all the updates that I had to install on just a few smartphones that are maybe 2 years old, you know, this stuff will become obsolete so fast. If you have an old smartphone, like after 10 years, you can't really use it anymore. Nothing will support it, and no app will run on it, that kind of stuff, you know. And I don't like that mindset. I don't like that mindset of creating products and stuff like that isn't built to last, you know. So that is why I like that stuff. Hey Andrea, great to have you. I'm sorry to hear that. Sometimes we have times in life when it doesn't stop. I'm very sorry to hear. I hope things will get easier again. Yeah, I lost a friend recently too, and I still think about it on a regular basis. And it wasn't even, you know, it was someone from the internet that I knew for so many years now, and I totally understand how that is. So yeah, I hope things will get easier again. You have my sympathies. Okay, but great to have you around. Really nice to see you. I will let this dry. This is just the seeds now. I spread everything out a little bit, and that can dry now until tomorrow. Tomorrow this has the right dryness that we can already bag it up. So I would put this aside. Tomorrow I will bring it back in tomorrow's stream. Over here, these are the other seeds. And the only thing that I need now is a piece of paper, because I always clean on a piece of paper. I'm not sure if I brought one with me. If not, I need to continue cleaning them later today. I will get a piece of paper later. Let me get through the other stuff. I wanted to show you this here, and I forgot to bring the grabber tool that I had yesterday. Yesterday, for the first time, I brought something on the stream that I used to grab the cactus, the spiny cacti. It kind of saves you a lot of pain in the fingers when you pick them up, especially when they are bigger. But I forgot to bring it again today, so now I gotta just try getting it without being stung. And I wanted to show you the wound here. I had this under a lamp, under a UV lamp, a grow lamp for 24 hours, just the wound, really close to the lamp. And I just wanted to show you the progress after one day. You can still see that brownish discoloration here and here. So sometimes when you remove an infection, it is hard to tell how deep it goes. And sometimes you have discolorations like these, but it doesn't mean that this is that this will continue. Sometimes you can get these discolorations to dry out. And yeah, this is after one day and it's already looking really good. I will keep this under the lamp for maybe a week. And by then, this whole infection will have dried out completely. Then I can root this thing. This is up. This plant got an infection at the tip in the greenhouse. So I brought it in, cleaned up the wound, and now I'm trying to heal it. If plants get an infection during winter, that can always be dangerous. Can be the end for a little plant like this. So I took it in, removed the infection, put it under a lamp, UV lamp that just has that UV light that also works against the pathogens here. And yeah, when you put the lamp pretty close to it, it will end the infection right then and there. And I wanted to show you. So this will go back to the lamp for another week. But in a week, I will bring it again and show you how this thing will look. It will probably be fully calloused. I would be surprised if the infection comes back. But we will try it out. We will see. Okay. So this goes to the side. I also brought a lot of seedlings. So let's go through them. The brown spots are firm. That is important to note. If you on your plant have something that feels mushy, that where you feel like the cells are already broken down, then you need to remove it. But when you have that discoloration, sometimes a fungal infection goes throughout the whole body of the plant, but it doesn't mean you have to necessarily always cut it all off. It depends on how you treat the wound. You can get fungal infections to stop. Sometimes they come back, but very often they don't. Especially in this case, this was a local fungal infection that just happened as a result of some sort of an injury at the tip. That stuff, you can often remove it, and you have that kind of layer of discoloration still on after a day. Usually what happens, you cut fresh and you don't see much, but over the day, the spots where the infection has it has touched the rest of the plant, that can be discolored, like really a little discoloration that slowly over time comes out. And again, it often doesn't mean that the infection will continue there, but these are the spots that I want to really treat. Otherwise, it could be the start for a re-emergence of that thing, In this case, it's totally firm. Otherwise, I would have removed it. If something's really mushy, there's not a lot you can do. Okay. Because mushy usually means that it's dead. The material, like the cells are breaking apart. At that point, there's nothing you can do. But you might still be able to save the lower parts of the plant, Okay, so here, these look decent. There's one seedling that is variegated, and it's starting to fail just from not being able to produce chlorophyll. We could have grafted it, but then again, why? I mean, this is the type of stuff. If it's so weak that it barely manages to survive, then I can do without it. So yeah, and among these seedlings here, there are also a lot of seedlings that look like they might be variegated. And if they are variegated, then I might have something here that can both produce chlorophyll, grow on own roots, and have variegation, at least partial. Very often the plants have partial variegation, and those can survive on their own root. More often than not, it really depends. Sometimes they are not healthy, not incredibly healthy, but they often grow. Okay, so here, seedlings, maybe 10 days old, 10, 14 days. And this is in sowing soil. In my opinion, it is the better soil for sowing out. Now comparing it to the other stuff that I have sown out, I like the consistency of the sowing soil a lot more. Yeah, and these, like I said, little cactus seedlings from a hybrid called Mamacita, Acacia hybrid, Acacia echinopsis hybrid. An interesting flower, a little touch of self-fertility, which means that the seedlings that you grow, sometimes they look very much like the mother, like Mamacita. I've had the same with Otto Schulz. And yeah, but it's always worth a try because the flowers are beautiful. It's a really good hybrid. There's variegation happening here. Some seedlings not able to survive if not grafted, but also some green ones. And I usually try to focus on those. Of course, if you are interested in variegated seedlings, you would do the opposite, you would do the opposite approach and just graft the little variegated seedlings that I have here. Personally, I feel like just from a breeder's point of view, general health, genetic health, we will focus on the green ones because the variegation might already be a bad sign that more problems are within that kind of cross, within that plant. It's always different. There are a lot of different ways to have genetic defects where you have variegation, and everyone is different. It really depends on what kind of a problem there was, what kind of a genetic incompatibility there has been that caused the problem. So yeah, and classic variation, like when you are growing from seeds and when you have just a normal range within the seedlings, that shouldn't really cause variegation. That is classically, it's usually something that happens in my hybrid crosses when I make crosses between different kinds of cacti that are so different that they are genetically they don't match fully. It's not a classic trait that I have seen on many plants, just like like a trait that is consistently bred out like a trait. Very often when you grow from seeds again, then you are starting fresh, so you don't consistently have the variegation in the next generation either. And in nature, like I said, very often the variegated seedlings would not survive in nature. They would not survive in the wild conditions there are in nature. There are crested plants in nature, there are variegated plants in nature, but in general, it's much less than what we get when we grow from seeds, because we can give the seedlings extra time. We can grow them in a controlled environment. We can grow the cactus seedlings in so many different ways that doesn't stress them too much. But in nature, that doesn't happen. And so you would lose a lot of the variegated seedlings. The fully variegated seedlings would have no chance. And usually when you see variegated plants in nature, they are able to somewhat produce chlorophyll, because otherwise they would usually not survive. I can see a scenario where one plant grows on top of another, like a natural kind of way of grafting, where the root just grows into another plant. With something like this, they might be able to survive, but the classic variegated plants that I see in nature, they are at least able to somewhat produce chlorophyll. It's really a life and death thing for them. So yeah, okay. Did I open these? I'm not sure. Let's have a look again. In case I haven't opened them, let's discuss. So this is a seedling. This is a container with quite a few different kind of seedlings. You have green there, and variegation, full variegation. Maybe we also have partial variegation. Would be okay. I'm not complaining about something like this. I just try to not waste time with seedlings where I know they will not make it long term. But in this case, everything looks good. There's humidity. Soil is pretty all right in regards to the humidity. I will just close it up. I've seen that there's some very young seedlings that have just germinated, and those I need to leave those undisturbed. I shouldn't mess around there. If I start to water now, there's always the risk that I just by handling, with a drop of water, you can sometimes already disturb a seedling in the first day so bad that it doesn't grow anymore, that it just doesn't have a good position and it expires. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, in that case, start fresh, throw away the soil. If you have fungus gnats in the soil already, there I see no way to just continue working with it. What you can do is pasteurize the soil. Use boiling water. Put the soil in a bottle, in a bucket, and use boiling water to pasteurize it. But then be careful that you don't injure yourself. I don't like working with too hot water all the time. For one, it's an unnecessary step, as long as the soil is clean. But if the soil isn't clean, then it can be a huge problem. And then I would even go so far to pasteurize if necessary. If you work with the same kind of bag, they might already be in there, and they might come back and come back and come back. With the seedlings here, I got it under control, but only because I was reporting the seedlings in the containers that had the biggest problems with it. I was constantly reporting and keeping stuff sealed in case you have a little outbreak, so you don't have it everywhere. And if you run into a situation where the fungus gnats get out of control, you can always take the seedlings out of the bag. If they are too small, then you can't do that. But taking them out of the bag will sometimes really help to deal with them. So I hope you get it under control. Okay, let's continue. So 3 cactus seedlings here, and I consider transplanting them somewhat soon. I just don't like the overall look of the soil. They are okay, but they're also not growing very fast. This is something that might benefit from being placed in new soil. And also, I could start fertilizing here. When you have seedlings that are not growing, that are not going anywhere, then sometimes fertilizing can get them started, But when I start fertilizing this soil, I just feel like the pH is already not so great. I feel like it might be safer to just transplant them in clean soil. So yeah, that's my plan here. Let's do it right now. I brought 2 containers here, 2 square pots. Okay, just need this here as a, so I don't cause a huge mess on the desk. I keep cleaning the desk, and it's always, every day it looks like a child's plate there, you know, like when you're in the sand lot. That's how my desk looks. So yeah, I want to just fill the pot up here, really fill it up. Once again, you know, when you put in the soil, it will all sink in quite a lot. So I have to correct that a few times until you really have a fair amount of soil in the pot. Okay, I don't want to, when I start watering, it will sink down some more, and I don't want to have it too deep. Okay, so here, I don't think we will get more seedlings than these. If nothing has come up by that point now, and it's been 3 months, I think 3 months is realistic. If nothing else has come up, then it will probably not get more. I'm happy with the 3 seedlings that I have here. This is from Echinopsis glauca. Really good plant. Really good plant, and it had the seeds were poorly, had poor viability, poor germination rate. So now I put in some water, and it will take a while until the soil is saturated. Right now it's pooling up, and that is not good. So we will need to wait a little until the soil has settled a little, because it will take a while, and the humidity will get lost very fast. I don't want to start when the soil doesn't have a good humidity. Okay, once more, I don't want the soil to be like to stick to the seedlings when I transplant them. When the soil has a certain wetness to it, certain humidity, that is just perfect for seedlings, because it allows you to place them in the soil, have good connection with the soil, but also in a way where they are above the soil. I don't want them surrounded by a layer of dirt all around the seedling. That takes away the light. Seedling needs to be the highest in the pot. And it's still too deep. It's still a little too deep, but it's okay. I don't want to overdo it. But this could have been planted even a little higher. Okay. Depending on whether the original soil has problems with stuff like fungus gnats, if you have something like that, it's best to remove all the soil on the root system of the seedling from the bad kind of soil. If there are no problems like that, and I think we don't have any kind of problems here, then it's okay. Then you can, when you transplant them and there's a little bit of soil attached to the root, sometimes it's safer to leave it, because these plants here, they are very young. They have very fine kind of roots, and if you rip, it might rip out the whole root, and that might be the end. So yeah. Sunk in a little deep, but it's okay. This will be all right. Check it out. I like this a lot more than the soil here. It looks a little bit used up. Sometimes when you have older soil, it just visibly loses its usefulness, makes it harder for the seedlings to not get root rot. Okay, so new pot, new soil, will stay in the bag for a little longer. They now get nutrients. The soil that I potted them in, this is fertilized soil, and that means that I don't need to fertilize them now, because they already have roots, and they can get some nutrients from the new soil. They just need to grow a little longer roots, and that is good and healthy to kind of get them to actually look for nutrients and look for water in the new soil. That is okay. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. Life isn't easy sometimes, so we all need to help each other, support each other, you know. Yeah, let's have a look at these here. A question is, Andrea used garden soil. Is there anything better? It depends, you know. I mean, with garden soil, you are very likely to have problem with fungus gnats. Garden soil, you know, you always got to think about what they market the stuff for, and sometimes the stuff that is for outside, they don't have to pasteurize, you know, they don't have to make it really clean. But when you're using with sowing soil, they are selling and marketing it explicitly for sowing out, and that sometimes you just get a better kind of soil, and you also sometimes have cleaner soil, because if they had huge shipments that are contaminated, then it would cause problems. I would definitely complain about getting seed that is already contaminated, you know. Of course, you can always shift the responsibility and say you should have just pasteurized. That's okay. That's a fair argument to make. But I also still think if they can mass produce the soil and it comes in a bag, in a sealed bag, then you can expect that it's clean. It's not too much to ask, in my opinion. So yeah, check out the sowing soil, classic sowing soil, maybe a good brand, but it doesn't have to be. Even the cheaper ones are acceptable. You know, the test that we did here on the channel, sowing out, with the cemetery soil that I discussed earlier, like that blackish soil, this one, and we had a lot of problems with fungus gnats with that one, you know. Maybe also because it is sold and marketed for being placed out on a graveyard, you know, cemetery, whatever, on just that classic blackish soil that they sell for visual reasons, and also to not having to weed it all the time. Okay, yeah, in this one, variegation and one or two green seedlings, maybe one or two, but let me see. Yeah, there's one in center that is in between variegation and green. So we have two green ones, one that might be like partial variegation, and the others look like full variegation. Yeah, candidates for grafting. If people want to do it, now's the time. They are on the clock. If the seedlings that is this big, they will not have a lot of time left. So you need to make a decision. Do you want to graft it or not? And if I would want to do it, now's the time. Now would be the time to graft it. And the second best time, tomorrow. Really, the longer they are on their own roots and can't produce chlorophyll, the more likely it is that they will eventually suddenly disappear. Okay, just cleaning up a little here. Okay. And today we might start with the cactus seeds. I really want to push the cactus seeds forward. And I just didn't want to do it yesterday because it was already a busy kind of stream that developed into a nice direction. But we will start cleaning cactus seeds again. Nothing problematic, just Lobivia, Cerenzia, Echinopsis, that kind of stuff. Because it's great to do it, great to share that part of the hobby. I want to go through from harvesting the seeds to cleaning them and sowing them out again. And then in 5 to 7 years, flowering and, setting fruit again. So these here are very far away from that. I wouldn't bet on it if I look at them now. This is Teleflora, and this is one of the containers with the weakest seedlings. There's germination even, like now coming some more. I've seen one seed that has germinated recently. But yeah, only one seedling where I feel like it might be able to long-term survive, develop chlorophyll. Maybe, really maybe. So yeah, and one thing that I wanted to say about earlier, like a few days ago, I have posted about, me just being weird. I mean, I'm saying that very often because it's true. But in this case, I just said that I love listening to audio cassettes, like that old school stuff. And not everyone was getting why I'm doing it, And like this morning, this whole thing has turned into an argument on Facebook overnight. And I just felt the need to really say it again, that when I am saying that I like to when I'm using something like a CD or audio cassette, I don't really have to invest a lot of time to listen to my music. I don't have to have an account, and I don't have to listen to advertising. At least not, if you recorded something on a cassette, like on the radio, then you also had advertising, But it's a little bit different to how it is today. And I'm just kind of proposing a different approach to that. I just feel like, let's say with Windows, okay, I've been having Windows computers for the last 20 years. And now for the first time, I have gotten to the point where I consider Linux, really Linux, taking a step back from all that kind of ecosystem where everything becomes a subscription. I've had the great fun just watching The Sopranos, watching The Wire, that kind of stuff, and the service that I was using, I still have cable. I'm not really up to date with all the streaming and all. And the service that I used, from one day to another, they completely removed everything that I liked about the service. They removed The Sopranos. They removed everything from HBO, and it was because of that sale to Netflix, and that really frustrated me because this is something that I'm a little bit OCD, really, and like a little bit autism. And when things are suddenly no longer there, that I used to love, that were always a big part of my life, then I really hate that. So the fact that they just decided to, what, and the stuff costs like $50 every month. It's not cheap. It's an expensive kind of thing that I only pay because of the because it's part of the cable. If you want a cable, I need a digital kind of thing to. It's a huge thing, and it cost me $50. And for $50 now, over the years, it has gotten worse and worse. They have continuously removed stuff that I really liked, and at some point, I'm just tired of it. I just can't continue in a system like that, Same with videos, same with music. I come from a time when you could just listen to the music when you press the play button, and today you're constantly forced to listen to advertising. Like, there will be a time when you're really forced to look at advertising, like the classic kind of Black Mirror kind of stuff, you know? And I'm just tired of it. I don't want to have that anymore. So I made the decision to just do what I enjoy, continue what I enjoy. And but it doesn't mean I'm scared of progress. It doesn't mean I'm scared of new tech. Because that was an argument that someone made, you know, trying to tell me that I'm doing this because I'm scared of actually things changing, and that's not it. Reason I'm doing this is because I'm tired of things getting worse when I've seen better. That is all. That is the only thing that I'm saying. You know, that whole online landscape, everything. When I bought me Microsoft Office, I had Microsoft Office. I didn't have to pay every month, pay a subscription every month. And at this point, I've just reached, my frustration has become so big that I'm willing to walk away from that system completely. Like when I was a child, my neighbors, they didn't want to have a television. And when I was a child, I couldn't understand that. You know, they had a daughter that went to school with me, and at the time I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand how you would live like that, you know. But over the years, the older I got, the more I understood that point of view. And today I just see, I feel like it's totally okay to walk away from a system that doesn't give you enough for the money that you pay. So yeah, and that was what I was saying, you know. I'm currently streaming. I'm streaming from a smartphone. I'm not against progress. I like progress. I just feel like I haven't seen a lot of progress when I look at the online products, the online landscape, being it music, being it movies. I don't know. I feel like we are changing a lot of things, and some things have become visually worse than how it was when you had a CD. You bought your stuff, you pay for an album, then I just expect to have it until, you know, until I don't want to listen to it anymore. And today they are constantly, everything you listen to, like the music, everything's rented. I don't want to participate in that system anymore, you know, like, and not by walking into the wilderness, by just saying, hey, you can also be different, you know, you can take different approach, like go back to the old stuff that worked. I bought me a cassette player, and that thing is almost 50 years old, you know, like there used to be a time when they built stuff to really last. And I hope that when people go back to these kind of values and these kinds of ways to build a product, I just hope that it will lead to more and more people doing it and expecting, just demanding change, demanding that, because we could build great products that would last 20, 30 years again. We could do that today too. But so much is just designed to be sold. Being it smartphones, you know, like I said earlier, all the updates that I had to make yesterday just to run the smartphones, the older smartphones that I'm using for the time-lapse videos and all, just the updates that I had to do back then, it was substantial. And I'm sure in 20 years, none of those devices will work. This is just not the kind of technical progress that we could have. If you like, it's all kind of designed in favor of the manufacturer. It's not in favor of like usability, not even the user, but usability, that something is really built to be quality work and all that stuff. That is the whole point that I've been trying to make with that. But not everyone has gotten it. So yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about it again. Okay, let's continue. I have brought these here from the heater, and I wanted to show you something. I think we lost a seedling due to heat damage. I always talk about it. I only leave the containers at the heater for a limited time, not so long. And in this case, I feel like I might have overheated one seedling. Check it out. Here's the seedling, and it looks so transparent that I think it's gone. And this was just classic heat, excess heat. So I probably left this one at the heater for too long. I really missed the time when you bought an album, you had all the cover art, really interesting kind of, you know, the lyrics and all. It really feels like you can, it adds another element to the song. Also, why so many people today are still collecting vinyl. So many people are collecting records, you know. And it's also, it isn't the perfect kind of, it has a lot of disadvantages. I collected vinyl for many years. I had a huge collection, and a lot of them over the years they get damaged, you know, they degrade. There are a lot of good things about the way things are right now, but it feels like they are making the system in a way that it's completely rigged against the buyer. And I just, when I don't need it, when you really don't need it, you can, there are other ways. There's still all right now CDs, music CDs, and DVDs and Blu-rays. They're really affordable. They have gotten really cheap, and I consider buying me all the series that I used to watch, and I really consider buying them on Blu-ray. Something where nobody can decide they will take it off the service when I want to watch it. I'm really frustrated. I'm really frustrated about the lack of Sopranos in my life. Yeah. I really like that as a mindset, that you are proud of your work, that you put so much effort into designing and building a product, that it will last for a very long time, that people value it, that people like it, that people wanna, you know, take care of it, keep it clean, keep it healthy, you know, all that stuff. And I miss that today. I'm not seeing so much of it. I'm sure there are these good manufacturers in between, but right now, like on the larger platforms, on the marketplaces, it is so hard to just buy quality, because you can't find it anymore. When I'm searching for something on Amazon, on eBay, it is so hard to buy something where you know that you will get quality. So many reseller of the same kind of stuff. It's always the same product, but one guy charges $20 for it, the other guy charges $10 for it, but it's always the same mass-produced stuff. And that is really not, I really don't like that. So yeah, let's have a look at these here. It's time to bring them away from the heater. That is what I wanted to discuss here. The fact that one seedling here didn't last, might not make it. It's still there, but I am not seeing it long term. The fact that happened, it was a warning to take these out of the heat too, because they are similar age. Yeah, it's all like today. Drop shipping has become huge. You can earn a lot of money with it. So a lot of people are doing it. And the problem that I have is that the platforms don't really have a way to show you what the quality products are. I have nothing against people trying to buy a little bit cheap, and not all cheap products are bad. There's some products that will also last a while, but in general, I just feel like they are pushing too much that lifestyle to produce fast, just sell, and then it's trash again, and people have to buy again and buy again and buy again. I value quality in everything that I do. I value when people take time to build something good in a way that's well thought through, well built, well designed. I like that kind of stuff. And nothing frustrates me more when I try to buy something and I try to buy something good and I get it and it's just the same low quality product, not built to last, just built to be sold. It's one of the big things that are currently going into the wrong direction. And that's why I'm so vocal about it. Because I really feel like we can, at some point, I really truly trust society to walk away from that. I 100% believe in people to, at some point, have enough of that. And there has to be that other way to live, that at some point there will be a middle ground, something that walks away from that throwaway, cheap electronics kind of way to just produce electric waste. Okay, so over here, I have dropped seedlings. Hey, Robert, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you. I'm sorry for bringing this in the stream, but this has just, two of my friends were arguing under a post of mine this morning, and I really don't like that. I try to, when I'm on social media, I don't argue with people because I don't believe in that. I don't want to argue with people. And in this case, I was really making a good point. I was making a good point about the fact that when you use a smartphone, everything you do is tracked. That when you take the smartphone into the bathroom with you today, you will never know if really nobody is watching. Like, we're living in times when you gotta expect that, we're living in times when just being critical, just being like politically loud gets you a lot of attention, So I just feel like sometimes it's great when I go into the bathroom, I fill the bathtub with water and I play music on a cassette player or on a CD player, and I just don't have to worry about that. I can just sit there and have a bath, And that the fact that problem even exists in my head, I just find it outrageous, And again, they are making it harder to just access the stuff that you pay for, the music, the movies, and at some point the right situation changes, like with Netflix and Warner, and they take away all the stuff that you like. In my case, it was really bad. From one day to another, there was nothing that I really liked aside from sports. HBO is just one of the few things that I was still watching. And it was included in a lot of streaming packages overseas, And the moment that was sold, it was gone. I haven't seen The Sopranos in months, and I'm really frustrated about it. So yeah. That it's just the stuff that really we have come such a long way. Today we can watch movies at home. People that have been in the past too sick to go into the theater, to go into the, to whatever kind of movie place that they are having, you can watch that stuff at home, and that is great. It doesn't have to be so anti-consumer the way it is right now. It's a choice So yeah, I just feel like sometimes you feel like walking away from that system, from that kind of way to participate. When I have a big rack with music cassettes and CDs and all the stuff that's there. When I put it on, when I press play, that thing is running. It's not asking me for my password. Leave me alone with my password. I don't know my password, you know? I would have to look it up. And that is something, just these tiny things. And then you never know if whatever the app is doing. Like I just read about different apps that had been working, like Apple. I think it was Apple, you know, where the camera was kind of in combination with Siri, you know, that stuff. They were kind of listening to stuff just to check if when that thing is accidentally activated, whatever caused that. So you can never really be sure when you have something like a smartphone in a private place. You can never be sure that you are actually private, and that is something I don't get it. I honestly I feel like people should have the right to be left alone, have that privacy to do whatever they want to do. I don't want to have that thought in my head. So when I put a cassette in the tape, I don't have to start having that internal dialogue. That's all. So okay. I really believe the time we're going through right now will lead to another generation of people that try to get back to old values. I really believe in that. I truly 100% see that in the future, that people are tired of just the way things are going right now and try to simplify again. Get back to nature. They are sowing out like what we are doing here. Having more natural place, building cities in a more natural way, because to be honest, it's the only way to go forward and keep nature healthy. And I really expect that to happen, that people will change, will fundamentally change. It will not be not like extremes, you know, but old values are coming back. Quality will matter again. And I can only recommend the people who actually have skill, are good at stuff. I really recommend to get better and better and better at it, because there will be a time when people are fed up with just everything AI. You know, people are tired of having to ask themselves if something is AI or not. At some point, they will appreciate stuff being done in the real world again. Being it growing stuff, what we're doing here, being it forging steel. You know, I love watching these shows, like when they are forging something, and I always appreciate that, all that energy that goes into it, all the vision. You envision what you want to do when you step foot into the forge. And yeah, I really like that idea, and I'm sure it will come back. It will come back in a way it wasn't before. Okay. So let's transplant. I have dropped something here, or Kami has dropped something here. I'm not sure, but at some point it was lying there. Yeah, the thing with the targeted advertising, Andrea, that's the least of the problems. You know, if they are just using it to show you advertising, that's okay. That's the least, you know. Then you can see, okay, they were lying, they were listening, but at least they were listening and using it for advertising and not for even worse stuff, you know. That is today. I'm just unhappy about the way things have been going for a while. And I have reached the age where you can just decide not to join in. You know, I looked at AI, I looked at all that AI stuff, and I knew instantly I would not join in. It's not that I don't see good in it. If they really want to do good, they make that stuff like Wikipedia and really use it just for that, just for good. But I'm not seeing it coming. I feel like there's just not the money to be made that they want to make there, that they hope to make. And I looked at AI and knew I would just not use it, and I haven't since. Every now and then I accidentally click on that Meta AI button that they have exactly below the post, and I click on it, and I try to desperately trying to delete it again out of the messenger, but they put it in your messenger, and then I delete it again. I have not used ChatGPT ever, and I don't intend to start. It's just something where I feel like we should support actual artists, and that's what I stand for. And people have allowed me to make the books that I made, and it was only possible because people came together and made it happen. And I don't see that happening long term with AI. They are just trying to replace all these people like myself, and I can't help with that. I can't just suddenly say, okay, I have told them I don't want to have my stuff used in AI, like the videos that I on Facebook, on Instagram. I told them I don't want that, because I will not be instrumental in actual artists being replaced with that stuff. It's just a solidarity thing. Also, I always wanted to be skilled, and it takes so much work to be skilled, and I respect that. I respect the skill, the time that goes into it, the time that people have to spend to learn a skill. And only because they learn it, they start to develop. They start to become better. They become better artists, and at some point they become famous, and it's just because people have to go out of their comfort zone and actually do stuff. Actually painting something or writing something. I honestly don't want to watch a television show that is written by AI. I don't want to watch it. I want to see what interesting people come up with. Like, I follow movie makers. I don't follow a certain genre. I follow a movie maker that I like. I like Denis Villeneuve, and I watch his movies. Or, I like stuff like that Mike Flanagan does. Just interesting creators. And it's the same with the accounts that I follow. I want to support people. I'm not interested in stuff that is just created to make money. That's kind of completely missing the point. I look at art as humanity's kind of saving grace. The thing that we are really good at. Sometimes I listen to a song, or I see a painting, something that is done that really moves me. And that kind of thing, the ability to create emotions with art, is something that I really treasure, that I really think that if we lose that, then we have very little going for us, So I find it important to protect it. And I totally see all the goods that you have with AI. I see all the benefits. I see how great it could be for education. I know that what would actually happen would be that 10 people will become incredibly rich, and you will still get a very, very poor quality kind of educational system. If you look at the quality of AI today, I really wouldn't want to trust it. And I wouldn't want to trust it in a system where it's really really easy to manipulate whatever the AI is giving out. Whatever information is always seen as the truth. So yeah, that's the big problems that I have with it. I'm not completely against it. I see the good. I see that it could be educational, but I will not be like, I will not help. Every now and then on Instagram, I accidentally like have the label, the AI label accidentally on, because it's exactly besides the thing where I'm clicking to post, or it's somewhere, you know. But apart from that, I made the decision to never use it. I'm too old to change now, and it's okay if other people wanna do it differently. You know, it's not something that I really think strongly about. If others do it, I just want to know what I want to do. You know, I want to be clear with what I do. Okay, and also, I'm sure that with how widely present I am on social media with Cactus stuff, I could bet that a large part of what you get if you ask AI, or if you ask AI to show you photos of a certain species, I would bet they have completely fleeced my pages, all of them. You know, being it on social media, being it on my website, being it my videos. I'm sure that happened. So you're basically, and if that was just for Wikipedia kind stuff, then I wouldn't be so against it. But I just don't like that I haven't seen a lot of AI content that really moved me, or that really inspired me. Not a lot. I've seen a lot of AI stuff just made to cash in. Often cash in when a famous celebrity passes away, that kind of stuff, you know. I've seen a lot of that. Okay, so over here, I had knocked over the seedlings, and they look great. They did well in the washed pumice. These developed really nicely. Unfortunately, at some point, they got knocked over. So I decided I want to transplant them in the sowing soil. And I will keep them out. So for now, I just want to have everything a little bit cleaned. I want the soil a little bit wet. And then I would start just moving the seedlings back and forth. Yeah, okay. And I really want to say, I don't judge people for enjoying a lot of the benefits today. You know, I completely see all the points that are made. I really want to like point that out. It's just that you always have to. It's a very difficult situation today being a creator. In the last years, I have seen a lot of stuff. Like it's gotten continuously worse on some social media platforms over the years. You know, already at this point, being a creator on social media, and a lot of people. The word creator is a really wide term, and you see a lot of different kind of people. But from what I do in my industry, in my field, it was already difficult, you know, before AI came along. People are barely able to really survive in the industry, in the plant industry. Cactus industry is becoming really difficult. because there are many mass propagators that propagate cacti. It's already a difficult industry, and this will be on top of that. They haven't been showing the cactus pages, most of the big cactus pages, the way they should in the last 5 years or so. It took so long until it was possible that cactus posts went viral. And even today, it doesn't happen so often. It happens now. They have changed the algorithm a little bit. So today you can go viral with a post, even if the page doesn't have a lot of followers. So it's possible to make that kind of content that I do here and just financially survive, but it's getting more and more difficult long term. And that will be the case in so many industries with AI. I don't see the good. It's just like that. I feel like where I see the good, and I feel like the bad just overweighs. So I'm doing what little kids usually do when they hate something. They just, I'm not doing it now. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, okay. I will try to get these seedlings here planted up, potted up, and I will leave it out, not putting it back into humidity. So I need to be a little bit careful that everything is planted nicely. There's still so much pumice at the roots there that I cannot really see fully what's going on, like at the root system. I just try to get all the pumice that is at the root. I try to get it, like to dig a little hole and get that in the soil and just press on top to get the seedlings a little bit stability. But these already have a fair amount of roots here. Andrea, I really believe you should do that. If you want to do it, sure. That is what I enjoy with YouTube. It really gives everyone the chance to create something. You don't have to worry about buying web space. You can just upload. There are limitations in the beginning. In my case, it took a very long time until you can start earning money with it. But it's a great way for everyone to reach an audience. And that is one of the good things that the internet brought, that today's media landscape brings, There's also good. And in this case, it allows everyone to just step in front of a camera. And if they're interesting, people will watch it. And it allows interesting people to survive, to be found, to be seen, with the stuff that they do. And that I greatly appreciate that, There were times when music artists, they needed the music industry to succeed. And today you just sit there with a guitar, and if you're a good singer, you can go viral with it. So that's some of the good things today. And it's basically why I'm here, why I have an audience. Because it's gotten difficult, like in so many ways to be found. It's hard to, in the past, you made a website and it kind of made it so much easier for you to be found. And over the years, websites have been declining. There's people just don't find you very easily there. Like just with search engines today, if a lot of the results are stuff that you didn't even look for. I don't know why, but they need to improve the search engines again. It feels like no matter where I search, I don't find what I'm looking for. And yeah. So it can be great to have that tool, like streaming, filming videos. I really enjoy what I'm doing now. And if you really want to do a hobby, or if you whatever you do, there are so many different ways to have a YouTube channel. It's like a TV channel today. That's how I approach it. You know, you're kind of having your own TV channel a little bit, and if you are really good at it, it will stand eventually. People will appreciate it. But it takes a while, you know? It took me like 8 years to get to this point. And the beginning was really hard. So you have to, in the beginning, keep reminding yourself that success doesn't come from one day to another. That it will be that long-term journey. When I got started with YouTube, I set to myself that I would probably need 8 years, 6 to 8 years. That was the guesstimate that I made. And I got that number by just reading like interviews with famous people on YouTube that got big on YouTube. And that is just a normal time frame that you need to invest sometimes. Not always, you know. You can be lucky sometimes. Something goes viral and it goes from one day to another. But if you don't have that luck, you need to be ready to long-term do it. And no matter what happens in life, you have to constantly get back to it. There are always phases also when I didn't have the energy to do YouTube, when my life was so bad that I was barely making it, barely, you know. But then again, at some point, you kind of see that chance again. So I always got back to it. And I believe that's the only way to approach it today. Of course, it will depend on not all ideas have the same marketability that you can sell them to an audience in the same way. You know, it always depends. But you are growing. You are also, whatever you do, you are growing over the years. And yeah, just see where it leads you if you want to do it. If you enjoy that, I'm for it. Today, I'm so happy that I started the YouTube channel 8 or 9 years ago almost. And in the beginning, it was so hard to just continue posting. And that was a time when you also got a lot of thumbs down just from other accounts that tried to rank against you. So in the beginning, you were posting something, you might already get a downvote right away. First, or people that don't like you, people that just follow you to downvote. That is something that happens everywhere. And yeah, in the beginning, that is really hard. They removed the downvotes now, or at least there's a way to look at it, I think, to look it up, but nobody's looking at it. And I really believe, like for the big companies, downvotes is a good thing. Just showing them that something they put out isn't good. That can be good sometimes to downvote. But when you're a little guy who is already struggling, who's already unsure what to do, and you get that, just that personal dedicated hater that keeps downvoting everything you do, that can really drag you down a little. So it also has positive sides for the small ones, for the small creators, you know, because a lot of people in hobby niche, in any hobby, people have strong opinions in every hobby. I had people that sent me, the worst of the worst kind of threats and over cactus stuff. So of course you will also constantly have people that will downvote what you do. You need to just ignore it. Try to do your thing. Be yourself. People love authenticity. Someone just being honest. That is so rewarding today to watch. That is such a good thing to watch sometimes when someone just doesn't say the same stuff that everyone else is saying, you know, just because it makes it easier to rank in an algorithm, you know, people are creating videos just made to reach their buyers, to sell something. And sometimes it can be really nice to see people just being people and doing whatever they love to do. I believe that passion, real passion, love for an hobby can be infectious. It can be, it is that spark that really lights, that leads people to follow you, to watch your stuff. Just being interested in something, to ask more questions, being interested in something, to share why you are happy about something, stuff that I get, like seeds, stuff that I grow. You know, always make sure to share the stuff that you like. Okay. So let's water this here. Yeah, I will leave this out of the bag now. This will stay out now. I might have to reposition the seedlings here, but it's okay. Yeah, and if you guys want to talk about like the stuff that you do, I'm always happy to hear about your projects. Okay, check it out. Yeah, I'm not sure in which direction my thing is going, but I just believe that right now, there's a lot of ugliness on social media, and people can't take it anymore. So I try to also be kind during my day when I go online. Like this morning, I also look at it as some sort of a service that I do to help my friends. You know, like when I see people not doing well, I try to support them, cheer them up, add a little perspective, because I've been around a little while. You know, at some point you just have that life experience that you don't have when I was 20. I was really dumb when I was 20. You know, I was really particularly dumb, and I learned a lot. And that sometimes when we're going through dark times, like when it's really difficult right now, a lot of public discourse, a lot of hate, you know, and it helps when people that have been around for a while, when they say that will pass too. The bad stuff that is happening right now, it will also pass. We will also have good times again at some point, you know. And also, the thing that I really try to do in my case is remind people that it's important to be kind, and it's important to be positive. And you know, I just have that outside view of this whole situation. I see two different sides, and both friends of mine. You know, I have friends on both sides, and it's so difficult right now. And I just try to show people that there's a way out. There's a way out of hating each other. That you can also, like, we're engaging in a hobby here. We have a beautiful thing, a beautiful hobby, a beautiful space. And it's that kind of old school kind of values that I really believe in, that I haven't seen enough lately, where I was really unhappy. I grew up with positive people, you know, like Steve Rogers, that kind of stuff, you know, like these kind of people that always reminded everyone, despite whatever's going on, we are all struggling in our own way, you know, and we can use a little help here and there. I'm happy to, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, I have no idea. I just had a feeling that I'm needed that way, that it's important for me to say some stuff that I haven't said in the past. Been very vocal on social media, that I haven't been so much, because I just didn't want to be pulled in. I felt like, I don't even, like right now in Europe, I already can't stand European politics. And I see so much of American politics, So I've did everything to just not let it consume everything. So it's important to have these little spaces with people like me, who just say, okay, there's a third way, maybe we can find closer together again. This will not last. That whatever's happening right now, it will not last. And it's good that people say that, because you forget it sometimes. When you get up and you look at the news, you look at the world, you can sometimes forget about that things are getting better. It's so easy to lose hope today. And yeah, I believe in hope, It's important to just say that it's so difficult to kind of combine actual values with what I do. And I'm not even, you can't really script that. The way you kind of combine that is by being honest about stuff that is important. And that's just the type of stuff that that I'm not seeing enough on social media right now, that I'm not seeing enough on television right now. Even television, like the normal television, so much is barely watchable anymore. It's just that constant they're trying to make people argue, and I'm not playing that. I'm not continuing with that. Maybe a few years ago, maybe 5-10 years ago, I would have argued with people. But today, I believe that we move forward by being better, by being different. So yeah, we always want, it's always good to be what you want to see in the world, and just hope that people will pick up on it. So I brought a lot of seedlings here, and some of them haven't been watered today. So that's what I will do here. These two, I fertilized, I watered, and yeah, they're developing. It's okay. In this one, we have to correct 1 or 2 seedlings. This has been transplanted, so they aren't perfectly positioned yet, but it will come. Okay. Yeah, so these will also go back to the plant lamp. I want them under the lamp, and that's okay. They're looking decent, not good, but it's okay. They will get used to the change, like being taken out of the bag. So this will go back. Yeah, it's not easy, guys. I always wanted to, over the years, I was constantly being torn back and forth. I always wanted to stay away from politics, I never wanted to do with politics, because politics always brings out so much bad in people, and I don't want to have anything to do with that. But the one thing where I really feel like you can really help today is by standing for certain values. That is what I do. And that is how I kind of approached things. I said a few stuff like on my personal accounts. I have personal opinions too, and from time to time I just can't hold it in. But I see the importance to just have that neutral ground where people can come together again. I hope that will happen. So okay, I have a few more containers that I haven't looked in. Talked a lot about other stuff today, and I apologize. I don't want to have too much personal kind of stuff on the stream, but I also see it kind of as my personal spokes thing, you know, like when there's a situation on social media where people where something happens, where I just want to address something, then I often do it in the stream because it allows me to say the things the way I want to say them. When you write something, it's always difficult to write something. And yeah, it's a difficult time right now. It's a difficult time to have an opinion. Okay. Yeah, I'll stream a little bit more, maybe 15 minutes more, because I haven't really opened a lot of the containers yet. So let me do that today. A little bit more, maybe 15 minutes I'm online. No, the channel wasn't it wasn't even that. It was one video that they had, like it was a little video where they kind of said this isn't good enough for all advertisers, so you can't monetize that video, but nothing was happening in that video. So I kept messaging them, and it took 2 weeks for them to reply, and by that time everything worked normally again. So now I'm just happy that everything works normal again now. On Facebook isn't the case, you know. Like Facebook, I've been having a lot of issues with just getting in contact with customer service and that kind of stuff, you know. So I appreciate that right now everything is working smoothly. I enjoy that. I enjoy being able to you know, to produce that kind of content that I do here. So yeah. But it also shows why I'm so unhappy with the landscape right now. On Facebook, there was an issue where they accidentally kind of added a second forename to my account name on Facebook, you know, like in the creator monetizing menu. So they have me there saved as Patrick Noll. But I'm not, that person doesn't exist, you know. So I've been trying to change it, and it's been the 38 email back and forth that has been sent, and I honestly, it feels like I'm talking to a robot, and I've been asking questions and got no reply. I've been asking to be passed to a German speaking representative or some person, you know, because I wasn't sure if I was actually talking to a person in the customer service. So I was losing hope with them. I told them at the 38th email, I told Facebook, guys, please pass this on to someone that speaks my language, because I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I can't continue messaging back and forth, asking questions. No one is replying. And these are these automated kind of like customer service hellscapes, you know, that I really dislike right now. I feel like in so many situations you are trying to get in touch with the company, and it's just a broken chatbot. You know, you are talking with a broken bot, and nobody's really looking at what you are writing. And you know, in this case, in my case, I have an immense reach on Instagram and Facebook if I really want to, you know, if I'm consistently posting. But right now I'm not. Right now I've just couldn't deal with them anymore. They've been letting me alone completely with the problem. So I'm just posting on YouTube. So I'm here doing YouTube streams, you know, instead of actually, I could do the same on Facebook. But these are the little things where they show that they don't respect you. by not even respecting the creator enough to have a person that they can talk to. On Instagram last year, 1 month, I had 270 million reach. 270 million in 1 month. I have never had a direct line to anyone. And you usually don't need it, but there's so many problems with the stuff that I'm having now, that it wouldn't be bad, to be shown a little bit of admiration for the stuff that you do. Because again, right now I'm doing a lot on YouTube, because YouTube has been kind to me. They have been more reliable than the other platform. I just felt more respected. And I hope it stays like that, because I enjoy doing YouTube. I enjoy what I do. I will try to always have a great channel. And yeah, apart from that, I'm not seeing myself continuing that 39 email chain that I have on Facebook. I really hope that eventually some human will look at the stuff that I wrote. Until then, I have nothing else to say. I'm not replying anymore. There's no monetization on Facebook right now. I don't care. I don't care. I'm just, at some point, you just have to, it's also about reach. On Instagram, the reach for the cactus stuff isn't the way it's supposed to be. I have like almost 70,000 subscribers. And the cactus posts are seen by not enough. And that adds to that problem, because you are posting on a platform, and when it's about a problem they created, they don't respect you enough to have an actual person reply to you. I'm not playing that game anymore. I'm not. I can't. I want to know that whatever platform that I'm working on, they kind of appreciate it a little, because it's good content. It's positive content. In my opinion, if they were showing more of the stuff that I do, then it wouldn't be so bad. Nature, flowers, people growing stuff with their hands, getting back to nature, kind of channeling these old school values, being able to grow your own stuff. If they would feature that content more on social media, it wouldn't be so bad. And yeah, if you see that so many like friends of mine that are running pages on Instagram, they are giving up. They are giving up because nobody's seeing the posts. I would have given up, but I was just too stubborn. At some point I was just posting, using Instagram as a portfolio to show, hey guys, look at this. This is the type of stuff that I do. So, and it's frustrating for a lot of people that get started. Today I'm used to it. I just haven't expected anything else, Okay, yeah. I will try to focus on YouTube long term. It's just my gut feeling. I enjoy that. I want to stream in spring with flowers, with plants, with birds in the background. That is what I want to do long term. And I hope it just works out. Everything else, we'll see, Okay. I appreciate that. I think I'm going offline now. I have ranted enough today about stuff that's unrelated to cacti. But every now and then I need it. I apologize. I suppose I was talking to a bot, but I can't tell. It could also be that the people that I was talking to weren't really interested. Sometimes you are replying to someone and they have their script that they are sticking to, and they are sending you the same kind of reply every time because you didn't send them whatever they expected to get. So I could see that it's also someone in in India, you know, because I was constantly talking to different kind of names. So it could be it was actually customer service agents, but no one that had any knowledge of the situation or wanted to help, you know. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Robert. Thank you everyone who always is here. I appreciate that. And yeah, next time I will try to have at least half the content be about Cactus. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I appreciated it. Always happy to reply to questions and all that stuff. And we will do the containers that I haven't gotten to today. We will do them tomorrow and go through that again. It's just from time to time, you also gotta talk a little. Okay, guys, have a nice day. Hope everything's great for you today. Thank you, guys. Until tomorrow.